So my name is Dennis Murphy. The accent's Canadian. At the moment, I'm a strategic consultant for Gately Legal, helping them with respect to whether it's cybersecurity or broader threats. Prior to that, I was a senior executive in the Five Eyes intelligence community. I was responsible for managing many different national security programs, counterintelligence, counterterrorism, support to military operations, as well as other Canadian government departments as the senior guy. So if I had to say a particular individual, it would be one who's actually a really close friend of mine. So he's the current director of the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, so the Canadian equivalent to MI5. He's got all of the internal stakeholders under him, so a few thousand people, each with their own agendas. And then you start looking externally what he's responsible for internationally with those stakeholders. He's a calm presence. He is incredibly transparent, but he's one of those individuals who is not afraid to ask for help or ask questions. If you adopt that, as opposed to kind of being somewhat closed or very aggressive or very authoritative, you're not going to succeed, because stakeholder management is just one of the requirements of a real leadership position. I was executive chairman of an international executive board that represented multiple international partners. So it was very much a herding of cats. So what I learned from that was be transparent, be very respectful to those other stakeholders, right? Really understand where they were coming from and what they needed. Be confident. And so, what I learned was, for instance, within this grouping, there was a group of 5, which everybody knows internationally, who the others were a bit kind of like, well, you're always going to function, you care about the group of 5 versus the rest of us. So when I came in as chairman, I went out of my way to make sure that I was representing those other partners, up to and including standing up to the other 4 from the group of 5. And that immediately resonated, because they knew that I was very authentic and I actually did respect them. I cared. I valued them. So it's no different again in the private sector, right? If you get into that approach, I think you'll benefit greatly. I think you build trust through leading by example. You have to show a complete and total trust and belief in those who you're working with. You respect them, you respect the position that they take, you respect the experience and the expertise that they bring to the table. It's all very simple, and if you do that, I would say nine times out of 10, you're going to achieve great success. I'm a very passionate person. I would be the world's worst poker player. You can tell very, very clearly kind of how I feel. So normally I felt that, people would understand that if I was asking them to, do something alongside myself, they knew the passion was there, right? They knew my belief in what we were being asked to do was there. It wasn't an exercise. It wasn't something that was generic. And then again, it goes to the empowerment stuff that I mentioned before, making sure that their responsibilities were very clear. I was taking on board their ideas, their suggestions, their criticisms. I would be willing to take criticisms, which as a good leader you should be able to do. And then, when possible, stepping aside and letting them lead, right? There's a great term called servant leadership, which isn't mine. It comes from a very famous American admiral named Admiral McRaven. Any good leader, their primary responsibility should be empowering those leaders who below them, right? And I felt if you did that, then you will get all the buy-in in the world.